Send us that information. That's wonderful. So it's an inspiration session. You're going to learn some stuff, and you're going to hopefully take that information and get 30 leads in 30 days. So without any further preamble or posturing, I am going to introduce the man who is synonymous with marketing and The Apprentice. It's the wonderful, the gorgeous, the very hirsute, Mr. Richard Woods. Woohoo!
Yeah. I love it. I love it. Look, thank you so much, guys, for inviting me, and I really do appreciate it. It's been, I love the hub. I mean, the amount of times I've come down and seen you guys, you've come to my events and supported me, and I think that's a really important thing when we're actually going through challenges like we are, crises that we are at the moment, that we kind of have to bring community. I always say to people, and this could be great if anybody's kind of thinking about it, is that think about being a leader and a bit of inspiration for hope in a time of crisis for your audience, as well as trying to give personalization to people. It's kind of a three-point attack. So it's become a leader and a thought leader and inspiration. Be a give sort of personalization. So if you can talk to people, get out and actually see people, not actually get out, but get through Zoom and see people, but then also try and bring community together. So personalization, community, and thought leadership. And that was what people are really sort of looking for in times of crisis. So Signal, Hub, you guys are definitely all three of those. So I take my hat off to you guys. You're doing an excellent job. So thank you. And I just wish I could actually pull off. Yeah, see, Gareth looks like super cool, and and Stuart just is like in his own world. It's fantastic. I love it. And I'm just in like a beige type. I did colour match the walls with my shirt, though. I hope you can all appreciate that. So I just want to start before this and just first of all say congratulations to Fiona, Dave, Shana, Lisa, everybody that just mentioned in the chat there that's doing incredibly well. And I run something called the Lead Gen Inner Circle, and a lot of people within there are also closing big deals. And what we've seen at the moment in terms of kind of the pattern as what's happened is that in the first few weeks after, or the first few days really after it was all kind of announced that we are going into proper lockdown, and slightly a few days before, there was a big freeze. So nobody did anything, and then there was the cut. So everybody was kind of cutting, you know, excess costs and stuff. What we've seen now in the last week and trending on a lot of the clients that we're looking and working with is we're actually starting to see spending. We're seeing consumer confidence getting back into the market. And I've always said that, and am I okay to share screens, Gareth?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So just kind of before I start, and how long have I got, guys?
As long as you need. As long as you need.
Right.
If we're still here at 3 o'clock, then we're all going for a beer. But
right. Yeah, strap yourselves in until Tuesday. We'll be good. Okay, fine. So I just want to, just before I start my main presentation, I'm just going to share screen and just show you my little whiteboard. Now, this whiteboard comes with a warning sign because I use a mouse to draw on it, so it gets messy. Okay, so I just want you guys to know. But I just want to set the context for what's happened at the moment. So the economy, the UK economy was on the up, right? We were growing, we were doing really well. Even Brexit didn't kind of derail it. The FTSE was always growing. There wasn't an actual massive economic problem. We haven't gone into recession. What we've seen now is a non-financial crisis that's kind of hit us, and therefore the markets have plummeted globally. And so we just fell off the cliff. And so, and by the way, can we all see the screen? I'm just seeing a chat come up, so I just want to double check.
Yeah, no.
Right, okay, lovely. Yep. Someone says I'm back. So I don't want to be talking and everything. What's this guy actually banging on about? So what we've seen is a financial actual fall off the cliff, and it's completely to do with the markets. It just happened. It's an outside thing. Around about this time, this is when we all went into isolation, and we've kept on going down, 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 down. Round about here, which is quite significant, the 27th of March is when Boris got his bout of coronavirus. Now, that is actually a significant milestone because it means in 7 days, around about Monday, he's going to be coming out of isolation. So with Boris out, people are going to start saying, right, well, if one person's able to have had it and then get back, we're going to start to see Boris in the next couple of weeks at conferences, doing talks. You know, he may even go as far as doing sort of hospital visits and stuff, because he's had the virus, and therefore he's going to show confidence that he's had it, and therefore he's not infective or has the immune. So that will bring confidence back into the market. We'll still be in isolation, but we'll then start to see these tests coming in for the NHS. We'll start to see this kind of two-tier economy. At the moment, we have this at-home economy here. So we're all at home, and so if we can sell stuff to people at home, or we can actually create stuff at home, that's what's happening. We're then going to start to see the two-tier economy, where people are starting to get tests, they can get out to work if they're lucky enough to go on those tests. And so you can have the workers and the isolators here. So that's going to be in a couple of weeks' time. We're going to be here, and it will mean that that financial sort of free fall of the markets and everything will start to bottom out. Now, the reason why this is important is around about here, it's going to then spike and go. And the reason why is that this was a non-financial, remember, crisis. So what went down will go straight up. In the last crisis, it was a double dip recession. So we went back down again and then went back up, because that was a small little recovery, realized that actually the markets and the property and the subprime was still built on sand, went back down again and went back up. This won't happen because there's nothing built on sand. Actually, it was built on quite good fundamentals and we're going well. So you and the greater audience that we have here at the lovely board and hub and signal is that we've got to understand here, we've got to be ready to surf this wave, because it doesn't come very often. And if you miss it and you go, your recovery will be kind of like this, and you know, you'll just get the trend up. If you ride this wave and have built assets and you've built marketing and you've got teams of outsourcers or whatever you've got to do in your business, you get it right here, then you literally hold on to that bolting horse all the way up. And this growth is significant here. This growth is significant, and it will take us back up to where we were probably for about this time next year. The recovery will be complete. So that's the context I want to say. And so when is it going to happen? So as I say, Boris on the 27th here went in. So around about kind of the 10th or what have you, we're going to start seeing him coming out again. Also around about the 10th, America did say that they were going to go back to work. Now, I don't think that will happen now because it's getting worse over there, but that's what they did say. And the FTSE had the second best, highest recovery rate it's ever known after Trump announced that they were going to go back after that. So you can see that the markets is just any good news, they're up again because they're so flat in terms of where they are at the moment. But in terms of small business, and obviously I'm a small business owner, I'll explain a bit more about me later, but I just wanted to get this out. We have this time now and this time, which will be about end of April, beginning of May here. Now, I've got a thesis that I will be eating food in a restaurant with other people in it at some point in May. And people believe that or don't believe that, but I think I'll be having a coffee in Starbucks at some point in May. And so that is a physical change. Now, I might be wrong. It could be June, it could be July, whatever it is. But personally, I think it's going to be May because of what I've just explained. And so that physical change, that coming out of our homes that we're all going to actually experience is a physical change. And when there's ever a physical change, a sentiment goes with that. And that sentiment will be confidence in the market. We'll go buying stuff, we'll be eating, people will be back to work. All of this kind of stuff will be over. And the stimulus that comes in from the government hits about June for the companies. So anybody's talking about all this furloughed cash with the 80% stuff, anybody looking for grants and stuff like that, most small businesses, unfortunately, it's going to be June when the actual cash starts to come into our businesses. And so that kind of May and then into June is the reason why this just keeps on going and going and going, because not only have we kind of, sort of toughed it out, we then hit this stimulus and then boom, we then start going up, and then there's another bit of stimulus and another bit of stimulus. And so strangely, through our toughest time, we ain't getting the money from the government, but when it starts to go, then these stimulus packages come in like little shock treatments to the economy, and off we go. Does that make sense? Give me 1 in the comments if this is kind of making sense. Give me a 2 if you think that I'm a raving loony. You can give both a 1 and a 2. Okay.
I know we've got lots of ones. Everyone's being very nice to you at the moment.
Good.
I think you're absolutely right. I think that there will, and also the boredom factor. people will be bored, absolutely bored senseless. So any change they will latch onto, and there's going to be massive parties that, and they say that there's going to be a spike in babies 9 months from this isolation. I think it will be greatest at the point we come out of isolation, because people will just be like, this is amazing, we've got our freedom back. And it will,
I think you're right. I think there will be a spike in newborn babies, but it will certainly only be from families with them being the firstborn.
Right.
Yeah. I've got 2 kids. I love them dearly. Good. So just want to kind of so pick on that. There's yeah. So that kind of sets the tone, sets the confidence for it, and thank you for that, and thank you for everybody to kind of put the ones in there. I will say one thing. I do work with a client called Party Hard Travel. They do 18 to 30s trips to Ibiza and all that sort of fun, the sort of stuff that Gareth would go to. So all the fun stuff, the young people. And they the problem is with that market is that it's exactly going to be something following the same trend, but it's going to be reliant on Spain and Greece to some extent for their market. Now, I think we will be having drinks in coffee shops, but I don't think we will be having gatherings of more than sort of 50 people. So I think that will actually then still be released later. So we'll have like a tiered release. So if you're in a market that has kind of large gatherings like my client has, then we're actually almost writing off this whole year and they're going to start the next season. So it's bad news for that. Good. Okay. So what I wanted to show you by that is that now is the time. Now is the time for us to actually start thinking about a few of these things and for you guys to start building your own assets and be ready for that to happen. And so for that reason, I wanted to just kind of do my 30 leads in 30 days presentation. And it's because it's a program that I put together and something that can help you guys. You can either do it yourself or, you know, you can kind of use the kind of outline that I'm using here to help. So I'm just going to get it up here live. Can we see my screen? Everybody, you see the presentation? Just give me a 1 if you can see the presentation in the notes.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, lovely. So 30 leads in 30 days. So what are we going to be covering? So why this is the most important system for your business, and why it's important to nail it now before it's too late. And also step by step of the exact system and how we're going to start implementing it tomorrow. So literally, I'm all about you guys being able to start doing some of this straight away. And I also know with your membership to things like Signal, you've got a fantastic opportunity to also get all the feedback and the training that they're supplying as well to help you with some of this system. But I'm just going to give you a bit of a structure to maybe use for that. And I'm going to give you some examples of how it's working. And then obviously I've got Q&A. And I think we're going into little breakout sessions and stuff. You know, I'll let you guys sort of post it, but that's going to be the content. So let me just, okay. So I've always like to say to people that if you're going to be starting to work and you start to do this, make the decision that you're going to start making some serious income. If we've been playing with our businesses for too long, I think sometimes you actually have to start going, am I going to scale? And if you do want to scale, then let's do it, because it is easy. Business is actually a bit of a rhythm and it does have some tried and tested ways of doing it. And also, when you do, sometimes you've got this nice freedom, time, profit, impact stuff everybody keeps on talking about, but sometimes nobody kind of understands or shows you how to get it. And that's what I want to try and do. So here's what you need to know. Everybody overcomplicates the digital marketing stuff. They really, really do. It's not as hard as you think, and it certainly shouldn't be as complicated. The only real campaign that matters, and we've tested so many campaigns, but actually the only real campaign that matters is the one that gets you the fastest to inquiries that are good and are cheap. And as soon as you find that, you should double down on that as soon as possible. So your whole marketing campaign strategy should be to find a funnel that gives you the leads the best. There's no point doing a bit of tweeting here and a bit of YouTube here and all the rest of it. That's just branding, generic stuff. You should double down on the thing that's actually going to get you leads and just keep on testing and testing and testing until you find that. And so from this month on, the only campaign that matters is the one that's going to deliver you that lifeblood of business every day on autopilot. And it is simple. I want you to recognize this. I'm not going to try and overcomplicate things because it doesn't need to be overcomplicated. It's not a ridiculous mother funnel. I've heard this great thing about a mother funnel, a funnel to end all funnels. And when you see those massive master plans of these gurus with these huge whiteboards, or something like out of, you know, that film The Beautiful Mind, where he's on the white chalkboard and he's like doing up all these massive light equations. So think about that. Or it doesn't have to be some sort of outsourced offshore LinkedIn autopilot using this software spammy scraping tool thing. It doesn't need to be any of those things. It needs to be simple, and it needs to be one that delivers results. So who am I? So I've used this same system to be able to do things like my lead gen summits, and I've been using it to achieve, you know, hundreds of agency clients, coaching thousands of businesses just like yours to achieve these sort of results. And I drink my own Kool-Aid, and I do the work exactly the same that I recommend people. Gareth's liking that. I've heard eat my own dog food as another phrase, which I just don't understand, because who eats their own dog food?
Yeah.
So I'm going to stay with the Kool-Aid, I think. So this is Zishan Shah, a person that I've done this exact system for. He sold multi-million-pound hotels and investments, residential apartment blocks in the UK. I heard Dave just sold or got new clients for his residential apartment block as well. So congratulations, Dave, in a market like this. But he's doing this exact system, UK and Dubai, so it's working abroad. He likes all this flash stuff, so it's great for a testimonial for me. But he's doing incredibly well. You got Kevin, who I don't know if any of you would know, but he's from the Hampshire School of Photography. He's used this system and he had the best month he ever had. My wife and I were looking at our bank account in shock. So that's for his photography school, so Hampshire Photography School. And it's also allowed me to personally, and that's just a screenshot of my opt-ins in the last 30 days. That's 353 leads in the last 30 days. So that's just people downloading my stuff. So if you are thinking about lead generation, how many leads do you need to be able to actually make sales? Well, this system's getting 353 there. God knows what. Look, there you go, Stu. I'm giving you a run for your money there. Look at that old white number there. I mean, that is, come on, I should be selling orange juice in that sort of get up.
You look like a whiteboard.
Yeah, exactly. And so I've got my digital marketing agency. It's helped me to launch my book and become a bestseller on Amazon. It helps me to fill rooms like this, which is my lead gen. So, oh, Gareth, look, there you are.
Yeah.
Look at that.
That's why I laughed last time, because I'm actually in this picture.
You were dressed properly then.
Yeah.
Dressed a bit like a prefect.
You can see one of our members, Rob, over there on the right-hand side. I know that back of that shirt anywhere.
Rob Fryer. Rob
Yeah.
Fryer. There you go. See? So some of you have also been ensnared by this. So I want to teach it for you guys today. And there's some more fantastic photos of whatever stuff. And it helps me book boardrooms. So if you want to actually set up masterminds, this helps to do that sort of stuff. I've got a website design company called WPA, where we support people's WordPress websites, and so it helps us to get leads for that company. And I brought a boiler business and sold a boiler business off the back of it, because I didn't want to be this person that says you can't do teach. So I bought this boiler business, boiler servicing, 24/7 out of receivership, and recovered it, filled it with inquiries, filled it with sales, and then I've just sold before Christmas that business, and that was a nice exit. So it's not just all this clever digital stuff. I've actually kind of cut my teeth also on salt of the earth businesses because I wanted to show that this system can work for that as well. And also we've got landscape gardener websites, which we're about to do the same process with. Anyway, I don't want to keep on banging on about this stuff. And it's because I can rely on this stuff, it means it stands out and that it matters to me. And so it means that I can work on things like Brexitpreneurship, which is a second my best-selling book. And then we sent my old man to the South Pole for Help for Heroes for yacht marketing, so we can work on some stuff that is important to us, etc. And I got an MBA. I got an honorary MBA from Solent University. Look at that. to be honest with you, as much as I like to think it's because of my marketing prowess, it's because I found myself on a TV program like this, and so so I could do it. So this is me, The Apprentice 2015, and you see at the back there's me trying to look as furious and successful as possible with all the rest of it. So that's fun. But ultimately, if you go on a show like that, you end up in this position, which is a fetal position, saying, I want my mum. And I got fired right at the end there, unfortunately, in the interview stages.
You was robbed. You was robbed.
I was robbed. I still cry about it at night. No, seriously, I do. So we need to know, what is the system? So the whole point of the system is all about traffic, convert, loop, upsell, repeat. Traffic, convert, loop, upsell, repeat. So it only takes 30 days to set up and start getting results. But you first need to understand three major things, three fundamentals about marketing. One, who are you selling to? So we need to know who your audience is and who you're selling to. And that's vitally important. Sorry, thank you. So I'm just reading the comments there about you thinking that I was the winner. It always stumps me there because if only somebody who was a billionaire thought that as well. Never mind. Right. So anyway, you've got to remember in business, and I think many of us will already know this, that if you're everyone to everyone, you're nothing to no one. So you've got to be something to someone. And so by knowing who your audience is, you can then actually get into the right people. This is me speaking at the Dent Global Conference, and that is a conference that's to do with entrepreneurs who are small business owners, and it's for a training program. I purposely go and speak to those people because they are my people. I don't go to the Law Society conference and speak to them because they're not my people. I don't go to Accountex and speak to them. They're not my people. I go to the small business entrepreneur places and speak to them because I know that they are my people. So you've got to think about who your people are, and then you've got to find out where they are, and you've got to go and get in front of them or start marketing into them. Number two, what are you going to sell to them? This is vitally important. So this is one of the fundamentals that are on the that's to do with 30s and 30 days, and it's called the value ladder. And the value ladder is all about setting your business up to be a stepping stone. So clients can go from one step to another step to another step. So they come in, they do something for free to start off with. They might download your ebook. They might go on your little free mini course. They might come along to a free event. They might do a little taster sample, like a free sample you might give out for your product. And then you then upsell them something cheap, something not expensive, so like a taster product. So it might be a book, it might be a little kind of introduction. So with the boiler business, we used to do for your first order, we'd give you 50% off just to go and service your boiler. And so it'd be a really inexpensive pressure off thing for us to go and service the boiler. But then we'd be in with the client and we'd have their contact details and we could talk to them and they would trust us. It's kind of almost getting on your customer's preferred supplier list, even if you are only selling to, domestic households. Whatever it is, you've got to get them on the value ladder. Then you need to offer your core product, and the best way to offer a core product is give a bronze, silver, and gold. So kind of 3 different ways that it can work for you. Or some people just like to give just one core product in there, so just one pricing. So either options work. And the most important thing is to give people a logical next step. Retainers is what will set you free. And you can tell the people that are doing incredibly well, who are my client base, who have locked people into retainers and give them lots of value, because even when the proverbial hits the fan like it has done now, you can still then soldier through because you've got this residual income, this retained income in your business that then will keep you afloat. So we should all be working our way into a final step on the ladder, which can be a retainer. Usually you can find a retainer in there. I worked with even a barber shop that we installed a retainer product in there, which meant that people were just paying, say a haircut was sort of 25 quid, they pay £12.50 a month and come every 2 months. And so it was a really nice way of doing it. And so it just meant that you lock in their haircut. And I'm not sure if I actually do get a haircut every six times a year. It probably might be 4 or 5 times, I don't know. But whatever happens, you're gonna go every couple of months if you go and see those people. So you think about that outside the box and get to a retainer, then you've got reliable income. So always work on them. So having a value ladder is so important. Thing number 3 is how much can you spend to acquire them as a client? So this is all about customer lifetime value. So if you know the amount that you can make from a typical client's lifetime with you, then you'll be able to easily calculate what you're willing to spend to buy that client. So if you know what that client's lifetime, i.e. the value of their value ladder, then you'll be easily able to spend more than your competition to buy that client through marketing, right? Bear with me, let me show you, okay? So this is just a phantom business. It's only got 2 clients, as you can see here. So we'll just work through that. So you've got the first one here, which is ABC Limited. And these are all the invoice dates that they've been working with ABC Limited. And then there's clients 2, which is 123 and Sons. And these are all the invoices. Now, if you can actually then take a pull down from Xero or whatever accounting software you do and stick it into a spreadsheet and actually work out what is the lifetime value of these clients. So value, client 1 is at the moment 2,190 quid, and the length of stay was 10 months. So the average monthly value is £219. Great, okay, so nice data. And then client 2, although has stayed for 11 months, is actually less of a value because it was spending so much, and their average month is that. So where this becomes important is if we go to the bottom here, and you can see the totals there. So the average client value is 2,139 because you divide those by that. If you had 400 clients, you add them all up and divide by 400, that would give your average client value. Then you look at your margin. So say you're working on a 50% margin. So your margin would be 1,000, just over £1,000. And then we say, well, why don't we, if we wanted to go buy a customer, we know the average lifetime value of that customer is £2,000 and our margin is going to be 1,000 on that. So we could spend just over 500 quid to buy that customer and we'd still make 500 quid. So that makes you a hugely competitive person when you go there, because your first sale, if we look at ABC Limited, the first sale there was only £99, but you could spend up to £500 to get that £99. That's quite interesting when you think about that. So that's the budget that you can actually get for lead generation just to close one client. Now, admittedly, you want to do better than that. But what I'm just saying to people is that think about this. Actually, when you're trying to win a client for a £50 Facebook ad spend, or win a client for a £10 Google ad spend, that's not necessarily going to actually work, because there's going to be more people competing, and they may have looked at this customer lifetime value and realized that they can actually spend a bit more than that, and hence why they're drawing back. And if you've got a system and you know that you keep a great retention of clients and they've got a great lifetime and you've got a good margin, then you can actually start to let's set yourself free a bit in terms of what you can actually spend. The companies that scale understand this. The companies that stay small are kind of looking after the pennies too much and getting worried about that. You have to speculate to accumulate, and that's where you can speculate in confidence and speculate with strategy, because you've done your lifetime value. Does that make sense? Hit me a 3 in the comments. On a 3 now. Hit me a 3 in the comments if we're there. Okay. Good stuff. Good stuff. Does everybody disagree? Hit a 4. All right. We're still here. Good stuff. Claire, Dave, Russell, Sarah, Terry, thank you. Louise, we're all there. No one's being argumentative. Emma, thank you. Sue. Okay, excellent. Good.
Richard, just a quick interjection. This is one of the reasons why at the Hub we say to people, really think about your pricing and consider being a premium option, because it gives you more budget to work with. Yes, more income, but the lifetime value of the customer is greater, and therefore you can spend more to acquire them.
Oh, 100%, 100%. That's the reason why businesses scale, is because they understand that, and admittedly they're able to front up the money to be able to work the cash flow. But it's a natural, when you're a small business, is an accumulation point. So you spend a bit to accumulate, it then starts to kick back in, then you reinvest, and that's how you then scale. Good. Okay, so next. Now you know the basics. who you're going to target. So remember, we talked about be something to someone. What you're going to actually then sell to them, your value ladder, and how much you're going to buy them for, your customer lifetime value. Let's build out the system that will generate the flow of leads, which can convert the sales on autopilot. Okay, so traffic convert, loop, upsell, repeat. Tuck your sales in. We're going to start not at traffic, we're going to start at convert. Okay, so we need to have a conversion event. So it's all about generating an amazing offer page with a totally compelling info swap. Now, I might have just said a load of jargon there. So what we want to do is create a web page, which we want our marketing, be it social media posts or Facebook ads or email campaigns or whatever it might be. It's a web page, one web page that we're going to get that campaign to land on. That's why it's called a landing page. It can also be a squeeze page, or I like to say an offer page, because I like to think that that page actually needs to give a really nice, compelling offer. Right? And then on that page, we need to put something that's an info swap. So what an info swap is, an information swap. You swap a valuable bit of information, you know, one of mine is called the 99 Ways to Get More Leads ebook. It's valuable if someone's looking for leads. And all I want in exchange is their email address. And so if they can give me my email, if they give me their email address, then I'm willing to give them the information. So it's an info swap, an information swap. So that's the kind of plan for it, right? So let me just go through that in more detail. So what is an info swap? Let me give you some examples. One, it could be something like this. So say, for example, this webinar wasn't just for members, because you have, as members of Signal, you have been converted. So you are already in core product, okay? So just you know, just sort of talking semantics. So if the guys here decide to put one of these out for the wider community as a free training, then that would be an info swap. People would have to register for the webinar, and therefore they would watch it. And then at the end, we could put an offer in, and they could then say, join Signal for more amazing content like this. And that's how you then upsell into your product, right? So by doing a free webinar, that can help. So this is a great example from something called Active Campaign, which is an email marketing software. And it says it's a free live training, 3 steps to building your first automation, right? And the reason why it's important is it's specific to the audience. So it's their first automation. So it only wants people that understands what an automation is and is ready to build their first one. That is their type of person. So they'll pile into that. And of course, if they then understand about building that, then obviously they're going to need the software. And so the upsell becomes obvious, right? So that's a really nice training. You see there's a first name, last name, email address, register today, info swap. Another one could be a checklist. So checklists are really nice. So this could be something for like, this is for Office Vibe, but it could be for like a virtual assistant or something like that, where you're doing a checklist for productive meetings. And so people are like, oh, okay, I'm kind of interested in having a bit more productive meetings. You know, maybe I need to look into that a bit more. We keep on having meetings for meeting's sake. And so it's very specific, and it's a checklist. People like a checklist because they can kind of scan through it going, do I do that? Yes, yes, yes. Oh, no, that's a good idea. Okay, and so then you can just do it nice and quick. So it's a checklist. Things like a challenge. I love challenges. Obviously, 30 Leads in 30 Days challenge is something I do. We actually build challenges for people in the agency, the lead gen agency. And the reason why they're great is that it helps people to go through a process. So they join the challenge, they go and do, in this instance, a 21-day challenge for them to supercharge your health goals by getting fit and healthy. And it just does that whole know, like, and trust people in 21 days. And then, of course, at the end of the 21 days, you go and upsell your product from it. So a challenge is a great way of being able to show your authority and really help your clients. So potentially your info swap could be a challenge. Or here, because I thought I'd jump on it, although Rob has now updated his website design, but I thought I'd use it. This is Rob's Brandstorm workshop. So a workshop is a great way of doing it. So as I think Hub member Rob, and we all know that he does these fantastic workshops. We talked about people's brands, and then obviously if they understand their brands, then he will be able to offer them marketing services. So can you do a little mini workshop, a little event, and then upsell people to it? So when you're creating these info swaps, do not worry about the tools, but be in control, be fast. So using different tools to be able to create these info swaps and landing pages. So there's some great things like ClickFunnels or lead pages, or you can use WordPress. MailChimp has a landing page creator, or Kajabi. So whatever you do, just make sure that you can just put these things together quickly, or get someone like Stu or whoever to actually create these pages for you quickly using the different tools. Okay, really, really important. Okay, I can just see there's something in the chat there. When you're creating the offer page copy, it should have a tried and testing system to it. So when you're actually writing this offer page, make sure it's got a nice headline, it's got a subheading. I'll show you an example of this in a second. And then it's got an opening section that talks about what the info swap is. Remember, the page is just for that info swap. Make sure it has a little video on there, some benefits of that info swap on there. Social proof, so i.e., is there a testimonial that someone said about why this info swap is good, or has it been featured in some publication somewhere? Then add a bit more content, because the people that like to read a bit more, and then call to actions at the end. So have a system behind it. It's worth doing it, and that's the system that we teach in the 30s and 30 days, the exact system behind it. So let me show you what that looks like. This is sorry. This is my info swap. So it's a website page with the 99 ways to get more leads there. And if I just click it, it will just scroll through it. So before I click it, you can see that I've got a headline here, 99 ways to get more leads. I've got then a subheading, pick your favorite implement and what to come in. And then here, as we go down, we've got the actual opening paragraph here, the actual info swap itself as a form. Then the video comes in, like I said there. Then you've got your benefit bullet points in here, little picture of the actually social proof number 1, your opening paragraph there, social proof number 2, and then concluding call to action. Do we see how that works? So it's a methodology for how one of those pages works, okay? Oh, I need to carry on sharing. Hello again. Let's go back. Share, okay, good. So let me just click through. So that's an embedded video within this presentation, so it gets a little, there we go. So that's how a landing page should work. Do you see how it's got a formula to it, and that landing page only sells the actual download? The offer page only sells the actual download. It's not trying to tell you the story of your business or tell them about the entrepreneur behind it. It never mentions me or my story on that page. It just talks about, if you need ideas on lead generation, download this ebook. Hence why you get a good conversion off the back of it. Okay. Oh, come on. There you go. Okay, so that was step 2, conversion. Now let's go back to step 1, which is traffic. So we've created the thing we want to drive people to. So how are we going to drive them to it? So we need to think about getting one traffic source right and then expand out. So if you see here, sometimes you look at this, you go, right, we'd like to do some, do you remember I said at the start, oh, we do a little bit of LinkedIn or Pinterest, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. If you try them all, then you have, say you've got kind of five kind of energy points in a week or in a day. And so if you are going to do one of those energy points towards LinkedIn, one to Pinterest, one to Twitter, one to YouTube, one to Facebook, it means you're going only 1 point in 5 directions. Whereas if you put all of that energy into just one platform, for example, Facebook, then you'll go 5 points in one direction and you'll get a far deeper, better funnel working. And then once that's supersonic, you go and do another one, then another one, then another one. But get bloody good at one first, then expand out. Because knowing how one works and seeing results really empowers you to know the thing, the je ne sais quoi, that makes these funnels work, okay? So I'm saying the reason why it should be Facebook, it works incredibly well. So I'm going to quickly ask, how many of you have tried to run some traffic or run an ad and it's not gone too well? Give me a 3. Give me a 3 in the comments if you try to run an ad and it's not gone too well. Give me a 1 if you've never done any sort of paid advertising through Facebook or Google AdWords or any kind of online paid advertising? Get some ones and threes, quite a few ones. Rob Fryer, you spent all that time in the Lead Gen Academy. You never did any paid advertising. That's my fault then. I apologise to you, Rob. That's my fault. Okay, right. Well, you're my mission today, Rob. I'm going to try and convince you to take control of this and do some paid advertising, because it is a fantastic method for brands to get inquiries. Because the truth is, the reason most people struggle to generate traffic is not because it's hard to get, it's because they didn't have a way to effectively turn those visitors into leads and sales. The people that have tried it and it didn't work, I hear that quite a lot. I did Facebook ads, it didn't work. It wasn't necessarily because the traffic was wrong, is that the traffic that went to the landing page didn't convert, and therefore it didn't work, right? I tried a different Facebook ads campaign during this time to a new audience, true story. And it was going into my 30 days and 30 days challenge, just pushing people into there. I spent 100 quid. It was quite expensive to get my clicks, so I got sort of like 57 clicks for that. So the audience I was trying to go for was quite niche. It was people that were Facebook page owners within the London area. It didn't quite work, and I got absolutely no inquiries. Now, if that was my first campaign, I would have completely been disheartened, but it's not. And I've made a fortune on Facebook ads, and I've got plenty of. My database is huge. You saw that I grow at sort of 350 a month average. And so that would have disheartened me if it was my first one, but it wasn't, because I was testing different stuff. So it's all about getting the right campaign and trying and testing and iterating, right? So don't need to be put off by that. I just want you to know that nobody always gets it right, even me that's been running ads for ages, okay? And so what it is you've got to kind of spend time on it and understand it. And the reason why is because it works. It makes the entire campaign look more like a huge water-sized flow of leads than a short trickle from organic. So if you just put an ebook on your website, you might get a few sign-ups here and there. Whereas if you start running ads into landing pages, it's like a huge flume of inquiries that then you can go on when you get it right. But what about all these other channels such as LinkedIn, Google ads, Twitter ads, all that sort of stuff that you can do? Remember what I said at the start, everybody overcomplicates this digital marketing stuff. Keep it simple. Just focus on that one campaign, and you've got to let go. Once you know the system, let go and let the flow, let it just ride out the inquiries coming in. Okay. For 98% of you, it should be Facebook. The reason why is that your audience is on Facebook, and even if you think that they're not on there as a business, remember, my wife watches some awful TV on TV. She watches some awful programs. She's watching the Celebrity Dating Agency at the moment, which is not exactly gripping viewing. She likes The Jungle. The Jungle is the kind of a go-to thing. So what happens when The Jungle or a Celebrity Dating Agency comes out? I whip out my phone. I'm on Facebook just looking at silly photos and stuff. And then suddenly an advert will come across, and it'll be like, entrepreneur event in London, tickets only 200 quid. And before I know it, my credit card's come out of my hand. And before I know it, I bought a ticket. And you just think, I wasn't even looking. I wasn't using it for business, but I was able to be converted and sold with the right offer at the right time. So just think about that scenario. Your audience will be in the same boat. So let me help you not make the same mistake 98% of Facebook marketers make. By the way, can we see, where is the picture of us at the moment? Is it where I'm putting it? So if I move it to the left, is the picture of me talking to the left? Oh, sorry, Gav, because I'm just conscious that I'm moving this around. I don't know if you can see. Oh, hang on, I've got people in the chat helping here.
The picture I've got, Richard, is the screen to your right, my left. Yeah. And you're in a little window to the right of the main screen. But when If you've been moving it around, nothing's moved on my end.
Because I've been moving me around so you guys can read the writing. And then wow, see, I'm the tech whiz kid. So let me help you make the same, make you not make the same mistake 98% of marketers make, right? And so these are some example ads that are mistakes, right? So here is an example golf club that's to run an ad, okay? And it says, hurry, this deal is already nearly over. And they're trying to offer £110 gift card for only $100, right? So $110 gift card for only $100. It's kind of like, so what? And there's this great comment here at the bottom by Derek. Says, lol, talk about savings, just about as much savings as it costs in gas to get out there. So basically, it's kind of giving people like little small discounts or stuff that people don't really care about. You've got to actually really remember, move people and actually make them want to take action. Giving them a 10% off or a £10 discount or whatever isn't going to help them make those mistakes. So I see that all the time. You can see here that you've got Daymar College providing career training in a variety of programs. And then they're basically trying to sell every single one of their college programs. And it's like too many programs. It's not specific and it's too many things going on. So one advert, one call to action. And then you see here 17 hats. And you said, ever wish running your business was just a little bit less time consuming? Discover how 17 hats can make it happen. 17 hats includes client management, online proposal, contracts, invoicing, bookkeeping, it's just like, it's just too many things in one. You're not going to get the click-throughs by bombarding people with a load of stuff. You just need to make it really specific. These are also two examples of bad ones. Look how boring those campaigns are. It's kind of a little bit like blur, So and these are big ones, Zendesk, etc., are decent code, but it's kind of like a little bit meh, So instead, what you want to do is just focus on the next step of the value ladder, and for that target audience, and call them to action. So you can see here, you can say, there's a new ebook here. Why doesn't HubSpot's Mark promote his best sales rep? Free ebook. It's kind of like sales reps, and it's a free ebook, and it's just going there. So it's really kind of low committal, and we'll jump on and actually get that. You then see here, and also they're using an influencer. So Insight Squared is using a HubSpot person, so it's using influencers. And this one from Melissa talking about, my mission in life is to support and to inspire. That's why I've got this 12-step wellness free ebook. So it's actually specifically downloading the ebook. So it's just getting people into a free. And then here is a fun thing. So 15 fun things to do in Lake Gaston. So it's only going to be people who are interested in Gaston. It's a free guide for fun things to do, and it wants to push people into it. So do you see what I mean? It's like information, push people in, and then actually upsell them something free with your ads. Don't try and sell a product straight off the bat. So recap, don't promote your core services to a cold prospect. You'll scare them off. So don't try and do ads to that sort of products that are in your bronze, silver, and gold. Only do ads to the stuff that is free, because then you work them up the value ladder later. Remember, that's where the loop upsell is going to come in a minute. Okay, so anonymous audience members get pitched step 1, which are info swap. Warm members get pitched step 2, which will be your taster product, and so on, loop, upsell, repeat. So let's just think about, there's the 3 types of Facebook ads that I just want to tell you about that are amazing that you can work on, and just to give you a bit of a feel for it. Remember, I've got all this training that you can actually do step by step, which gives you videos and stuff for this. But let me just sort of open up your sort of eyes on what this could be. So there's 3. There's one which is a customer demographics campaign. So that's just looking at the different customer demographics and targeting that. One, you can actually target your CRM database. So you can upload your database to Facebook and then run ads to them. And 3, you can target your customer lookalike database. So once you upload your customers to that database, then you can do a lookalike audience of those customers and find people that look like them and target those. Let me show you what that looks like. So 1, customer demographics. So to fill this room here, in this room here, I ran this campaign, which was as simple as that. The event was in Farnborough. So I did Farnborough plus 30 kilometers. So anybody within that kind of radius of 30 kilometers, anybody who is 25 to 65 plus, you go on that. And then people that are interested in lead generation, digital marketing, entrepreneurship, social media, online advertising, and who are also interested in, and then these are influencers. So anybody who's interested in someone like Brendan Bouchard, who's a marketing person, or you know, the 4-Hour Work Week, which is a book by Tim Ferriss you might like, or Gary Vaynerchuk, or HubSpot, anything that's people that are interested in kind of influencers that talk about marketing, as well as are interested in marketing, I want to speak to those people and send these ads to. And it just filled it. So that was nice and easy. The second one, you can then target people in your CRM database. So what you can actually do is find a customer file here, and this is just shows you how to do it. You just click on customer file, you upload your database. So you say you're using MailChimp, you can download all your MailChimp list. You then get that as a spreadsheet, you upload that to Facebook. Facebook finds all those people, and then you run ads to them. Really nice and simple. So that's called a customer file. And then finally, a customer lookalike. So here's the really cool thing. You know, we did that spreadsheet that did the customer lifetime value, where you listed all your customers and what their average lifetime value did. You can actually then create that as a spreadsheet with that customer lifetime value figure. And you can then upload that to Facebook and say, these are my customers. Here's the value of each one. So I want you to rank them in value order. Then I want you to find a lookalike audience. So not these people, but people that look like these people, and ideally look most like the person that's spending the most amount of money with me, and find those people using your amazing algorithms, Facebook, and then serve ads to them. It's an incredible campaign. It's got some amazing results. So that's why you can really get some clever stuff. And it's not that difficult. You just create a custom audience and then you upload that file that I just gave you. It's not as hard as you might think. Okay, so that's going to give you some traffic. So you run some nice ads into it. It gives you some traffic. I can see I've just got a comment on the chats. For lookalike audience, do you need a minimum number on your CRM database? Question. So I'll just quickly answer that. You do probably need some data. I'm thinking you're not going to get much from it if you don't have at least 50 on there. You've got to give them some data on there. And of course, the most important information for them really is an email address and mobile phone number. The reason why is if they don't have, people sometimes use their work email to get their Facebook account, or they might have a personal Gmail to create their Facebook account, but their mobile tends to be the same number. So that's for that mobile number will help them to find the right, Dave Smith out there across all the Dave Smiths. So not all of your 50 will actually get found. So that's the first thing. But when whatever it does find, it needs a few data points, but not too much. Remember, it's a lookalike audience, so it can find data similarities from a few people and then find the many. And we've got lookalike audiences where we've only uploaded 50 people, and we've been marketing to an audience of about 12,000 off the back of it, just purely because Facebook's been very good at finding people that look like that. I hope that answers your question now. Okay. Oh, okay. Can you do a lookalike audience from competitors' audiences too? Only if you had their database. So you can't just go and upload a URL of a website and say, I want to target those people. You have to have their names, email address, and phone numbers to do it. Okay, good stuff. Thank you. Now what we've done is we piled traffic into that offer page. We've converted them because they downloaded your ebook or you sign up for your webinar. And then we've got to upsell them onto a taster product. Remember that inexpensive product. So how that works, and the system that we've all put in place, is that someone goes onto your InfoSwap landing page, they download the InfoSwap, and then it immediately hits them onto a thank you page, which then gives them the information, but then bumps them onto saying, would you like to go buy this taster product? So for us, it's the 30 leads in 30 days challenge. So it's kind of, people go down and say, I've got a lead generation problem. They do the 99 ways to get more leads. And then they realize, oh, okay, now I know how to get, there's lots of ways to get leads. Now I know how do I actually go out and do that? And then the thank you page immediately goes, would you like to join the 30 Leads in 30 Days challenge? And then for a small amount of money, they can join the challenge and get all the information to do it. So that's why you, on the thank you page, it's a vitally important page. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to stop share here. I'm going to reshare and I'm going to do a conversion. Oh, maybe I should have done that. So I'm just going to go onto my website. So this is my Lead Gen Academy website. I'm going to do a live demo for you. So you can see on my website, I've got my free product here, leads, and I've actually got my taster product here, which is 30 Leads in 30 Days. That's all I've got on there. So if I go on to 99 ways to get more leads, remember that page? Does this look familiar? It's exactly the page that I just showed you in the demo, right? I'm going to put my name, address, and email in here, and I'm going to get instant download. It's going to instantly send me to a thank you page. So this is thank you. You can see it's 99 ways thank you. Below is the link to the 99 ways ebook. So I can press this and look, I go straight into my ebook, and there's the ebook, right? But if I go back to the thank you page, there's this button that says give me more. You see here? And it basically just is that page, give me more. And then boom, I'm going straight in now to selling the 30 Leads in 30 Days challenge, social proof, what the outline of the thing is, and then straight into the costing of the product there, you know, and then someone can then join now, and then it goes into actual, then they can go and buy it. So you see how you go into a 99 ways to get more leads ebook, and then into a buy now straight away. And they've just, so if I go back to my presentation, they've just bumped. So if I go here, they've gone from free, and then the thank you page has bumped them up into taster. And then, wow, okay, so you see how that funnel works without you even having to talk to the customer. But then you also have this great email system. So if that doesn't work, on the challenge, I've got the templates for this, but email one essentially says, thank you so much for downloading the 99 Ways to Get More Leads ebook, or thank you so much for downloading, you know, whatever ebook it might be. Here's the link back to the thank you page. So what you don't do on your email responder is actually attach the piece of information to it, because they'll just say, great, I've got the information. You don't want them to actually have that in their inbox. You just keep on driving them back to the thank you page where they can download it, because you're seeding in your taster product. Email 2 says, reminder, you've got this product. Email 3, that automatically stops talking about the 99 Ways to Get More Leads ebook, and then starts to then sell just the taster. So now it says, really want to help you, you know, 30s and 30 days. And then email 4 might be, here's some testimonials on how to do it. And email 5 will be, you know, last chance to go for this. I won't email you again. And then of course, if they buy the 30s and 30 days, then of course what happens? You then start to talk about a thank you page, or you might, in my instance, because it's a 30-day challenge, at the end of the challenge, I have a congratulations, you finished the challenge, and then it bumps people into, say, my mastermind program, or it bumps people into one-to-one coaching. So do you see how you actually make your products fit your funnel and works in that way?
Can I just make a point, Richard? What a lot of people do is they would put, you've got that info swap, and then it talks about the 30 leads in 30 days challenge. What a lot of people would do is put that 30 leads in 30 days challenge as the landing page. But by putting in place the offer, you're pre-qualifying your lead. Your lead is saying, yes, please, I really like the idea of this. So they're in more of a mood to take action and are proving to you that they are an ideal prospect. So by putting things on your top level on your website, sometimes you can do worse business, because the people that land on it, they don't trust you enough. They haven't got enough trust in what you're saying. But if you're giving them something, they're much more likely to be in a mood of, oh, well, this info that they've sent me is brilliant, or, you know, I can do something with. What else is this offering? What else are they offering? And they actually lean into you. So it's like pre-qualifying your leads.
Yeah, I love it. Exactly. It's there's a fantastic report called the Google ZMOT report, Zero Moments of Truth, ZMOT, and it talks about 7-11-4. So people on average, when they make a buying decision, consume 7 hours of your content on 11 different occasions across 4 different platforms. So what that might be is that before you buy a car, you might go and watch videos of the car driving around. You might be seeing it constantly coming at you on the motorway. You'll go to the showroom. You'll go for a test drive. You can see how 7 hours of kind of decision making gets put into that considered purchase. And it'll be the same for your businesses. If you're selling a consultancy product like I might be, which will, you know, in a year people will spend, you know, at least over £1,000, etc., if they are going to be doing the full consultancy stuff. And so by doing that, you've got to remember that that they want to really do their due diligence. So give them the due diligence to do. Give them the ebook, give them the little challenge, keep them warm, keep them consultancy, get them onto webinars or whatever to get them to work up, right? Good. Okay, so let me just show you something here. So this is my website. So I'm just going to log into the library. This is the course, just to show you these. This is the 30 Leads in 30 Days challenge. I'm going to show you these free templates, which are the upsell templates here. This is what the challenge looks like, by the way. So each day, you can see each day you've got a different part of the challenge. And day 12 is write the 5-step follow-up email sequence. So when you go into this challenge, you'll see it's here. This is the template that I wanted to show you. Download it. And here is the template for the 5-step challenge. So you can see email 1 is the immediate auto responder. Email 2, just checking you received it. Email 3 is a short, sweet ask, talking about the next step on the ladder. Email 4 is the
You need to share your screen.
Oh, okay. My bad. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for letting me know really early there.
All right.
I just said that this is the challenge, and so stuff like this has got the download stuff. Just to show you this is where I find it from. So here you can see these different templates. So say this is an email I send on day 2 saying hi. Just to make sure you received it, just in case stuff got put into cyberspace, and then it pushes them back to the thank you page again. So when we were talking about that looping people back, then email 3 is I'm reaching out because I've had several great ideas on how I can bring you even more leads. Here, link back to your now taster product. So you can see how this email sequence works. Here's a slightly longer one, and then there's kind of, look, you know, here's some stuff. Oh, even, there you go, Rob, you're making a big appearance today. You say, it's put me in a position where I can start promoting my business in a systematic way. I especially love the fact it's delivered in a step-by-step process. So there you go. So these sort of quotes that you can send to people when you say, I hear back from you, I'll assume that the timing's not right, but here's a kind of a final word from a challenge that might help, etc. So it kind of gives that extra thoughts, and it's a system. So by having a system for following up, whatever you do, it just should go on automation to loop, upsell, repeat, loop, upsell, repeat. Cool? Okay, right. So that was the thank you page bump. That's why the thank you page is so important. Okay, so remember, one great ad combined with one simple campaign can equal a lead generating asset that just becomes evergreen and grows your business 10 times plus. So it's that you haven't actually spoken to these people and they're taking their credit card out and they're buying your tasted product. So it's just it's a perfect and simple campaign because it's hyper focused on one thing, one audience, and it moves them from each step on the ladder. No massive jumps. And we always talk about this whole kind of, don't ask your customers to marry you. It's a little bit like what Stu was saying. Don't ask your customers to marry you before you've kind of flirted a bit, before you've gone out on dates. If you're Gareth, you would have swiped left a few times, you know. So it's kind of like that you know, you got to court your customers first. Don't ask them to marry you. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm naughty. So you know, don't go in there and just try and flog them your core £1,000, £2,000 product. Get them to move through the steps. Okay. Oh, I've come up with this drawing app by mistake.
Have you just swiped right?
If I just swipe right, yes, thank you, gone. Okay, so creating stability in your business, going from your first few clients to a consistent flow of new business is simple. It is as simple as that traffic convert, loop, upsell, repeat, and knowing that you can buy that traffic for more than potentially the cost of that taster product. As long as you can cash flow and the system works, you can then be really bolshy once you've got these things set up. So that's how you scale. So I know what you're thinking. It sounds kind of simple-ish, but how the heck am I going to make it all happen, right? So let me ask you a question. Has your time on this training been well spent? Give me a yes in the comments, or give me a no if it hasn't. Oh, yes. Got a yes. Sarah, thank you. Helen, Emma says yes. Anne saying yes. Michael saying yes. Terry is saying yes. Fantastic to have you. Fiona, Claire, Russell, yes, thanks. I'm very polite, Russell, thank you. Sheila's saying yes, much better understanding. Fantastic. Sue saying yes, great stuff. Thank you, guys. Well, I'm glad it's been of help. So you basically have kind of two options to go from here, and genuinely, I think you guys you've recorded this, haven't you? So this will be available on the replay, so you can kind of go through the system and work it all out.
Yeah, it'll be recorded. It is recording.
Fantastic. So you kind of take what you have learned today in this recording and go and try and get it working for you. You know, I've given you, you know, ideas and templates and the software and all the rest of it. So please do go and tackle that if you feel you can do. Option two is you can ask to work with you personally to mentor you through this process. This is, you know, this isn't some sort of big kind of one-to-one consultancy thing. This is all about what we can do. And so what is it that we would actually do if I was going to do option two? Well, it's the 30 Leads in 30 Days challenge. And hopefully I've shown you some bits on that before. We've created this as an online accelerator. We want to help you all go from 0 to 30 leads as quickly as possible, because remember that upsurge is about to happen. We've got about 30 to 45 days until that really starts to kick in. You know, that kind of having a Starbucks in May opportunity. So option A kind of looks like that and finding it out, and option B gets you from A to B as quickly as possible. And so I've put this accelerator with some direct mentorship from me to ensure you have everything you need to make a huge success of your business. It's going to help you get full clarity on who you're targeting, who your niche is, how you're targeting them, your value ladder, and what you can spend to acquire them, which is your client lifetime value. It's going to help you set up your landing pages. It's going to help you do your traffic convert, loop, upsell, repeat. It's going to support you to launch those 3 Facebook ads campaigns with exact step-by-step training on building every single one. I actually do a demo and I show you how to build every single one of those campaigns. You can pause the video, do it, pause the video, do it. And so let me tell you a few people that have actually put this system in place. This is Party Hard Travel, who obviously is that client I was talking at the start, who had some serious issues at the moment, but they still can kind of stomach it and get through it, which will be good. But when I started working for them, they had 0 leads online to now 12,000 leads per month. And so unfortunately at the moment, it's not so many, but at the start of this year, they were getting 12,000 leads per month, and they went from 75 grand per annum turnover to over 3 million turnover in 2 years, because they learned that scale methodology and went for it. So the 3 components that you're going to get as part of the 30 Leads in 30 Days is we've got to have the actual online day-by-day training course where you can see it. You're also then going to get weekly Monday Momentum group calls with me. Then we're going to have 24-hour direct access to our 30/30 VIP Facebook community to get fast help and feedback. And also the nice thing about it is it's 100% guaranteed. If you've done every single day on the 30 Leads challenge, and there is only 20 days to do because we give you weekends, so it's only 20 working days in the 30 days period, we'll give you your money back if you don't get 30 leads. Guaranteed, no problem at all. So the actual course looks like this. You get, I'll tell you what, why don't I just stop sharing? I'll actually show you the back end of this, just so you guys can be interested. I'm not going to linger on this too long because I don't want to go overboard on this point. But you see here, each day's got different sections in it. you see here's audience and your value ladder stuff we talked about, things like writing your offer page. And then so if you clicked into it, it's
And you're not sharing.
Oh, thank you, Gareth. Can we see it now?
He just likes people seeing his lovely face.
Yeah, exactly. Well, thank you. So you see here, this is the back end of it. So each day's got a day. You've got information in each one, so you can see some information we talked about, and then things like write the offer page copy. So if you clicked into here, you've got a video. Hello, everybody, and welcome along. So we're going to be talking about different ways to be able to write titles and stuff, some information around it, and then each day's got a action. So you'd go to the action once you've watched that, and you would download, say, the templates there. You see on the right-hand side, download template, and that's just downloaded now. And here you go. So it then gives you this template for you then to actually then write your offer page copy, giving some examples of my offer page copy. So it kind of works quite nicely there that you can work on. So I hope that helps to show that. Let me just move the videos that way. Let me just go back. So that's every day I'm step by step, I took actions, and also there's some nice challenger reviews. So where I've reviewed other people's work, I upload that so you can see what other people are doing as well. And also some bonus days. So there's some nice sort of extra 6 bonus days, like setting up your Google Local My Business and stuff. So it goes beyond the 30 days if you want to lock that in. We like to say that if you can develop a lead gen habit, so you can look in a kind of half an hour a day during the working day to develop these assets, then it works well. We've got the VIP Facebook community where people upload what they've done, and we can kind of congratulate with people and welcome them. So there's lots of support there of other people. And you'll see here that there's other challengers here, you know, giving support. So this is Janine, who was talking about her SEO for her website, and then Andre is talking about congratulations and giving his feedback. So that all helps. And then one of the most valuable bits is that every single Monday at 2:30, I do Monday Momentum, and the challengers come on and say, right, what do you think about this landing page? Or what do you think about this? Or my value ladder is this, or my audience is this. And we'll take it in terms like a mini mastermind and actually review where they are. So that can be really helpful. We've gone beyond that in that session now and actually started talking about preparation for kind of post-corona growth and stuff. So you can dive in that at 2:30 every day, every week if you're there. And people get results. So this is Steph. So here's kind of her uploading some comments as she goes. So this is hooray, day 8. My ad has been running for 2 hours and I got 4 conversions. And then this is just later. So 18 leads in 10 days with £9 advertising spend. So she's delighted. And then this is her just there. I joined the 30 Days program, got 100 leads in 21 days, working on conversion now. And then end result, she got 214 leads in 13 days. And she's a coach. So she created a divorce survival guide. So she's a life coach for women. So it works as a result. So basically, you watch the videos, complete the items, and then ask questions in the Facebook group. You can see that, you know, Leon there's talking about, I'm about 10 days in and really super highly recommended get involved. So that's it. So I'm just about to wrap up then. So when does it start? You can start whenever you want. You can take 90 days to do 30 leads. There's no pressure. You do get weekends off. It's only 20 days of actual work. It only takes about 30 minutes to an hour to do each one of the days. So you just lock it in. And it starts, day 0 is the day that you enroll. This was selling at £249, and we were selling like that for ages. But what we're doing is we're doing a limited time offer to support people during this corona crisis, and particularly to support people who are interested in the Signal and Borden hubs. And so we're now doing that for just 45 quid, guys. So just 45 quid.
And it's money back guaranteed?
It's money back guaranteed.
Well,
there you go. Look, the point being is that if you do this and you get a funnel that's working really well for your business, then your business grows. And that's all. That testimonial from Steph, or those great testimonials that I've shown you, is what I thrive off. So I want that exact same testimonial from each and every one of you, and for you to be able to present that testimonial back to future people, because I want this to work really well for you guys as well. So we stack the odds in your favor.
Yeah, the smart way to think about it is, how many customers would I need to get to cover that 45 quid? And I'm guessing for the majority of our business members in the Biz Hub, it's going to be 1 or 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, the risk is actually in not doing it, and you're inside for the next 30 odd days, so you might as well take some action.
I couldn't, okay, obviously I couldn't agree more, but
I know we've had quite a few speakers come on and make offers, and this is one of the ones that I think to myself, it's an absolute no-brainer.
Fantastic. No, I do massively appreciate it. And I tell you what, I can drop this URL into the comments if that would help.
Yeah, if you do.
And I can take, there's a few questions that are coming in at the moment, but that is case sensitive, or the easiest thing to do is just go onto the Leadership Academy. It's linked at the top. The price is consistent across everything at the moment at that £45. So you just jump in, you scroll all the way to the bottom of the page and click join there, and then you'll be able to jump onto it. Your first Monday momentum will be Monday, and if you can join the Facebook group today, and we'll be uploading. I upload bits of video and bits of content into that group as well. So it'll be really interesting. So I do love you to jump on that and help. There's a few questions in there. So one is, Esther, what if my tech skills aren't that good? The reason why I've created this whole thing is to make it incredibly easy for you to actually do it yourself, but there are other people that can help you for it. So I know someone that used a virtual assistant who just did the techie bits for them, and they wrote the offer page copy, and they did their video, but then they got a virtual assistant just to bang it out into landing pages using the challenge. So they gave their login to the virtual assistant who actually created it. Or you've got someone like Stu, who's an incredibly good tech guy or knows great tech people, who can then actually kind of build out some of these landing pages for you. But it's only really the landing page that's slightly difficult. And to be honest with you, the software that we recommend to use makes it really easy. It's like drag and drop.
And when you've got a template for a winning landing page, you just replicate it. You know, it's in your arsenal at that point. We have another question from Sheila, slightly higher up. She's asked, will it work for my network marketing business, which is about building rapport, making friends first?
So what I would do, Sheila, we know each other, lucky you, so I'm familiar with what you're doing. I would think about that community piece. So if you can actually get people into a community, then that's what it's all about. So what I would do is I would do kind of a 5-day, it's a skin product, isn't it, Sheila? She's got it. Am I right in saying that? It's a skin. She works for,
she works with Forever Living, the aloe vera company.
The aloe vera product. So what I would do is I would do something like a 5-day skin recovery product. Stu, you were talking about hand gel, right? And how it's hurting your hands.
Yeah.
So you could do a 5 days to hand recovery after being over hand sanitized or whatever sort of challenge. So you can actually then do like an ebook for that, or like a five videos or what have you for it. So what they would do, they get the free download of how to have a skin repair. So that's a bit of thought process. Then you then push them into a Facebook community of people that are kind of thinking about skin and health, etc. And so you've got them in there. That's converted and they're in community. Then you can start to grow that relationship with them, and then start to offer them in other products. So it's just kind of reverse engineering, getting them into a Facebook group or getting to download something. But you got to remember, you've got to get their email address and phone number. Really important. Or one of the things that can work really well as an info swap that we're working with clients at the moment, a lot of people are doing these Zoom calls where they get lots of people together to talk about certain stuff. So you could say, right, how do you recover your hands after, being washed too many times? Do a Zoom, invite lots of people to it. But on Zoom, you can have an ability for people to have to register first before joining the Zoom. So if you say they have to register with their name and email address, boom, the lead has been created. You then take those name and email addresses, you stick them into your email software, and you can then go and then upsell them your products afterwards. But you give them a wonderful experience on the Zoom. Then they see that you're a great person as well. And then that's all about community, and then the follow-up then sells product.
Perfect. So I think what we'll do is, if we take just a quick 10-minute break, everyone can then get refreshed, recharge the cups of teas and everything. And then if we come back and we'll continue the Q&A, if I can just get everyone to post their questions into the Q&A section, and then we can then get Richard to live answer them after. So quick 10-minute break, be self-sorted, and we'll be back in a second.
The Q&A button is down the bottom on your options, icons, etc. So if you're looking for it, it's down the bottom.
Yeah, don't post it into the chat because it gets lost.
Yeah, I've been trying to follow the chat questions and I've got them pasted over, so hopefully we can close those out. But there was just one question, which is quite a quick answer. How long is the offer available for, Richard?
So the offer, you know, we saw about how the times will change, and so about, you know, a few weeks we're going to start to then see there. So as that starts to go, the kind of supporting people during the corona crisis price will go, and then we'll go. So there's not a definitive time, but if you're drinking a Starbucks in a Starbucks, if you're drinking a coffee in a Starbucks, the price would probably have gone up to 245.
Yeah, don't wait.
Okay, so if that is any way of giving you a time frame, I think that's kind of, I'm working my life off of when I get to have my next coffee in Starbucks, I think.
Perfect. Okay, right. So questions in the Q&A, quick 10-minute break, and we'll be back in just a second.
Brilliant.
Hello, welcome back, everyone.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
Hi, hello.
Hello.
Excellent. Okay, so shall we go through the questions that our good members have left us during the interval?
And
Right.
thank you, by the way, during the interview for the people that have joined and the 30 challenge. It's incredibly great. So looking forward to working with you guys in the future.
Okay, fantastic. We'll just quickly whip through some of the initial questions, and then there's some more in-depth questions. So, question from Helen, I think it's Helen Gibbs. How a therapist feels it's a huge undertaking. So in your experience, does that type of marketing work for therapists?
Yeah, I mean, remember with therapy, so really kind of it's around thought leadership. So the initial kind of download is about showing your thought leadership and credibility. So what type of therapy does Helen do?
So it's sort of one-to-one therapy, mainly, you know, sort of like psychotherapy type thing.
Yeah. So if you are if you're doing something along those lines, you can be, you know, how to move on after a crisis, the tools to be able to deal with bereavement or whatever it might be, some sort of download along those lines. Now, anybody that downloads it will be someone that's actually dealing with bereavement or has had to deal with a crisis. You might even use this crisis. You know, you'd say that you know, how do you get your life back to positivity after being isolated for so long. So you can create some very much of the moment ebook and download. So maybe it's just like a collection of blog posts that you aggregate together into kind of a bit of a resource, maybe a little video with it as well. And then you bundle that up and then offer it out to people, and then they'll be downloading it. And then off the back of that, then you can then go and offer actual kind of one-to-one services with them. The beautiful thing about it is that you can just target people in the Borden area if you wanted to. So it's people in the Borden area that are currently going through a crisis, that are downloading information about it. They're a hot prospect, right? They're the sort of people you want in your database. You get them to download that. You then offer them maybe a 30-minute free consultation as a bonus for downloading that. And then that consultation is a sales pitch in disguise. So you do 15 minutes of that consultation helping them, and then 15 minutes selling them your product.
There is a video on lead magnets, which is effectively what the offer is. It's a lead magnet. And we did that at the beginning of last year, I think, January or February of last year, which should be in the members area if you log into the Signal website. Hopefully that's answered your question, Helen. Can the first platform be LinkedIn? As Sarah Bass says, she's B2B, and you know, you mentioned that 98% should be on Facebook.
Yeah, so this is the age-old kind of question I get that oh no, my clients aren't on Facebook because I sell B2B. Well, I sell B2B. You know, we're currently speaking business to business currently, and so I do a lot of it through Facebook. But that's not. I'm not here to convince you to use Facebook if you love LinkedIn. I'm just here to say that deep dive on one. So one of the best effective strategies for LinkedIn marketing is actually doing direct messaging marketing campaign. So you'll go and search for people. So can I get a bit of context around this too? What is the industry?
Sarah runs a recruitment agency, or she's a recruitment consultant and has a lot of experience around HR and recruitment.
Yeah. The issue with recruitment and LinkedIn is that it's like a feeding frenzy. Every single recruitment agency is using LinkedIn to try and get clients. So if everybody's ducking, you need to dive. And so that's why you can kind of get to people quite easy on Facebook. That's there. But if you were going to be doing a recruitment thing, you maybe want to start to talk about why people should start the recruitment now if they are looking to get people on board, because there are people looking now and got the time to look and do pre-interviews ready for you to employ them, you know, May, June, July, when you're doing it. So you could write a little bit of content around that and actually do it. And so say if you were go onto LinkedIn, I'll share my screen. Is it sharing?
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, I had to make sure. So if I just go onto my LinkedIn profile here, and so I would say, right, so Sarah wants to work with people that were business owners within Borden, that were accountants, for example. So let's say MD plus Borden. Maybe let's say Hampshire, because we want to expand it out, plus accountant. You want to help accountants get stuff, you know, to recruit. So you do that search there. The plus gauge makes sure they've got to be a managing director and in Hampshire and accountant. So we can see that there's 3 million people there. It's a lot of opportunity for you. So you would just go through, and I know as a recruitment company, you probably already know this, to be fair, but this is quite nice for other people to see. And then you can see here that maybe you're looking to looking for, there's a lot of managing director plus Hampshire plus accountant. There's that seems to be quite, oh, here you go. So consultant, mentor, chartered marketer, that's a marketer. So we're just working through to find the accountants in here. Looks like a lot of people are jumping on the old accountants bandwagon. Interesting. So MD plus Hampshire plus, let's try and do something else. Law or solicitor.
It's OR.
There you go. So here we go. Not sure why accountant wasn't there. There's a lot of results going on there. Why is that not working today? Hampshire plus solicitor. Let's try and go that. There you go. So 2,500. I'm not sure what MD. Maybe they were just trying to do MD as well as. So you can see here, Zoe's a solicitor, solicitor, Hampshire Council, solicitor. So we just wanted to go solicitors and go after Jonathan there, and you can go and then say you want to customize your invitation. You'd say, you know, hi, John, you know, would love to connect. Also, I have this great download, and then you can kind of add link in there, and then you can then go and do that. I've got capitals, and then you add that link in. So you're asking them to connect, and when they do connect, then you get a link to your info swap, and you just get someone to go and bang out those connection requests. When they say yes, then bang, the message will come straight in. So this is my messages, and more, yeah. So I said yes to this person here, Elliot. It says I'm looking to, you know, it then instantly came up with this as the message when I accepted his messaging request. So I've gone back to him and said I'm looking for less jargon, but that was just because it was a weird connection request. But do you see what I mean? Like, it will just instantly come up. If you accept someone, it will instantly come up as a, so if I accept that one or accept this one, I imagine I'll get a message that will come off of a couple of these ones. Did it come in? Is there anybody got? There you go. So there I got an instance. So I just set to Yazif. It says, hi, I'm a motion designer and amateur. I make it there. Here's his show reel. If you're interested in production, your own videos, write me. I'd love to work with you. So this guy is obviously then pushing people back to his show reel, but you could be pushing people back to your info swap. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's all about, to tie this into some work you've already done, is whatever your ideal customer is, find out what the biggest problem that they are suffering that you can solve or you can help to solve, and write your lead offer around that. Okay, because people want what you can offer if you can help them move forward. They're not so much interested in all of the stuff that you know, it's just that one thing that's their biggest problem. And if their biggest problem right now is in recruitment is there's nobody, how do you have a recruitment meeting? How do you have an interview? So you might write something about, you know, how to conduct a successful recruitment campaign using Zoom, and putting it in a context that they're living in right now. Hopefully that's answered your questions there, Sarah. Lisa Warner, Lisa is a PA and she's part of a franchise, and she's saying that as part of a franchise, she doesn't have her own website. So can she create a landing page and offer freebies? If I can think of any. Well, yes, you can use any of the landing pages that we mentioned, the ClickFunnels, lead pages. MailChimp does its own landing pages now. You can create any digital asset where you can pick up leads from, and you can deliver an offer. Doesn't matter what it is. You can put in front of people and you can get their details. You can move them along that path. Any insights there yourself, Richard?
Yeah, I think when it comes to being a VA, I would try and get a nice bit of thought leadership. The problem is with franchises is they will kind of control their website, so they don't want people doing too much. But a lot of franchises will actually help you to build out a landing page. You can just give them the text exactly how I've got it in that challenge. You just use that template, you send them that text, say that you want to put a form together, and then you can actually get them to do the work for you. So actually you might find it's even easier because you just throw it back at the franchise and say, look, I want you to create this, here's the text. If they are being still a bit of a pain, then just whip up a quick MailChimp landing page, and then at least they'll submit straight into a list on MailChimp, and that email list, you can then do that email sequence that I showed you to go straight out to them. So that would be so important. And then so what I've seen worked really well for VAs, you can kind of then checklists work really well because people want to get organized. So if you help them to get organized, you could do the checklist, the ultimate checklist of all the things you can outsource to make your life simpler, quicker, and easier and less stressful. And you could literally go top to bottom. You could outsource all of these things from home. You could outsource your bills. You could outsource your accounting. You can outsource this. And people will download that checklist, go through it, and then they can literally just tick it, and then they can send it back to you and say, okay, what would it cost if I ask you to do that? And then you say, well, let's jump on a 30-minute free consultation and I talk to you about it. You give them some ideas, and then you sell them on actually taking that pain away from them. So a checklist of all the things they can outsource to make their life simpler and easier. That's what I would actually push out there.
Fantastic. Katrine Orr. Katrine has a fantastic business selling rain hats called the Rain Hat Collection. It's a Shopify shop, and she sells British made rain hats. And her question is, what if you are selling products rather than a service? Is the 30 leads in 30 days geared more towards service businesses than people selling products? And she's saying that her product costs between 29 and 65 quid.
Yeah, so you've got to remember, where is she selling the products? Is it on Amazon? Is she...
No, well, she's got her own website called the rainhatcollection.com. It's a Shopify site.
It's a Shopify site, fantastic. So you've already got the landing pages. It's like a product page. So you can pile people into there. Now, the idea of a free is to get them into your database. And so when you're thinking about the Rain Hat collection, what you might want to do is put together the Rain Hat lookbook. So it's a lookbook of each season. These are the types of hats that you should be wearing. And so by doing that in autumn, you could wear this hat. In summer, it's this hat, or winter, etc. So the lookbook can be a nice little download. People can get access to it. Alternatively, if you thought about maybe doing coupons or gift vouchers and stuff, so that's quite a good thing. So give us your email address to access the 15% off coupon or 25% off voucher or what have you, and then that pulls people in and gives them the conversion event. So it's filling your list of people that are interested, so then you can sell the product, and then using Facebook ads to get people in there, and you can almost do any type of advertising to get people into that coupon or into that conversion or into that lookbook, and then upsell them from there.
I would suggest, because I've worked with Katrine on her website and know it quite well. I would suggest that if you are going to offer a coupon, one, you make it time limited, but two, you make it specifically about an event. So I know, people aren't necessarily going out to events right now, but in the future it might be get the rain hat for Ascot, get a rain hat for the Christmas season. It's talking about what's on their mind and targeting those people with a voucher that would seem relevant to their situation.
Yeah.
Sumi's asked a question saying, is the 30 days including building the offer or the offer product?
Yeah, so the thank you page is your so when you say the offer product, you mean the download, the ebook
download, the thing that whatever they're going to.
So day 3, I think we write the download, and what I say in day 3 is that don't sit there day 3 thinking you've got to write a whole ebook. The best thing to do is to kind of aggregate together a number of blog posts that you've already got, and then make that into a bit of a bundle. Or if you haven't already got that, then go for the checklist scenario, because that would be an easy kind of checklist with, you know, the definitive, you know, 42 things you need to think about before, you know, for when you're packing your bags before going on holiday or whatever, you know, and that could be a travel agent's, you know, info swap. Whatever it might be, don't we ask you to try and bring it together quickly. So it could be a quick video. You just get, you could use something like this, like a Zoom thing, and you could just Zoom yourself and share screens and record it. And then that could be your nice little recording of showing people how to do something really quickly. And then that's the reason why they download it. You just don't, you probably already sitting on enough content or enough ideas to quickly pull together an info swap. It's all about getting that right idea and positioning it.
I recently did a video for a landing page, and Richard's seen it. It took me about 30 minutes to write it. It was a 2-minute script. And then it took me about an hour to record it and make it look right. And if I'd have got the video camera set up correctly in the first place, it probably would have only taken me half an hour. So an hour all in to create a landing page video, you know, a similar type of thing could be used on as an offer. You know, see my video on top tips on X, Y, or Z, and a checklist or a transcription of that. So don't get bogged down in, okay, right, I've got to write a lead gen, because what you're doing effectively is procrastinating. You're just putting off getting customers into your funnel. Yeah. So hopefully that's answered your question, Shumi. And Hailey has asked a question. You mentioned about not having any information about yourself in the freebie landing page. And she's saying that's different to what's been advised previously.
Yeah.
Would you recommend putting information about the self and background in the paid service / product landing page?
The point of this is it's an info swap. So the whole thing is to sell the person that visits the website on the fact that they should download the ebook or download the checklist, right? So any other kind of distraction away from that means that you're not spending the time selling them. You're selling them a free thing. So by going into your company history or talking about, you know, your entrepreneurial kind of, you know, visions and stuff, it's just distraction away from why person X needs download Y. And so therefore it becomes completely tunnel visions. Even the testimonials that I got on my 99 Ways to Get More Leads are 2 testimonials that are only about the ebook itself. They're not about why my company's done a great job for those people. It's just about why they liked the download when they downloaded it. So give people one action to make. If you give people 2 things to think about, they can make a bad decision. Someone very intelligent, very profound said to me once that if you try and sit on 2 toilet seats, it gets messy. Maybe not as profound as I think, but it kind of means that if you try and sell 2 things on one page or try and talk to people about too many things, they get decision paralysis and we get overwhelmed. Whereas if it's just that kind of talking about the one thing, talk about that product and only talk about that product, then they don't get confused.
Yeah, and the way I would use any about yourself stuff is contextual. So don't put, you know, nobody cares that you've been in business 10 years, but they care if you have supplied whatever it is you supply to the Queen, or it's like a bona fides. If you're going to put it on there, it has to be relevant to the product offer. So if you've done X for 10 people and they've all had the right result, that's what you want to be talking about yourself, not, oh, I've done 5 years in this and 3 years in that, and I've got 2 dogs and a cat. You know, it really has to be laser focused on that offer. Navis Wong. Hi there, Navis. She's a visitor today, so welcome to the Biz Hub, and thank you for tuning in. She says she's running an events agency with a handful of core clients. Her lead generation model at the moment is quite small, but not active right now. But it targets relatively large organizations and companies. And she's keen to understand how aspects of the 30 leads in 30 days product could apply and help us.
So when you're looking to get people for events, so what was the type of event against you?
She just says events agency. It doesn't mention. Maybe you could tell us in the comments, Navis.
Well, if you're an events agency and you'll help other people to create events, then I would do the definitive guide to planning an event.
Oh, it's motorsport events.
Motorsport events. So so you would do, you know, a checklist for what people should be thinking about when they're planning a motorsport event. And so what you do, if I get my whiteboard up and show you guys, there is a thesis behind why you do these kind of things. So just say yes if you can see my whiteboard, Stu.
Yep.
Right. Okay. So people will be going along online and they're flatlining. They're kind of scrolling through Instagram, scrolling through YouTube. You know, my wife's got them in the jungle on again. And so then you go, and that little was the definitive guide to motorsport events, to planning motorsport, because I've been thinking about this in the back of my head. I'm currently scrolling through Instagram, you know, not looking at anything, but suddenly, it triggered that thing that was in my head. I was like, oh, okay, I'm interested. Then your guide then goes to a landing page that says, well, you need to download this guide because it will help you to do this. It'll help you to plan that if you are this. Okay, so now you're making my kind of gap of knowledge a bit more intrigued. I download the guide, and then in that guide, you go and tell me all the 98 things that I need to be doing to plan an event. I got, Jesus, I only thought there was 5 things. Now there's 98 things. Oh my God. So my ravine is huge and my world is kind of falling into this ravine, and you kind of made this so more painful for me than I ever thought. And then of course what you do is then once they have that guide, you then book in, you know, or taste a product, or you book your 30-minute call. And by the way, guys, when I talk about taste of products, you know, it might be your book or some other bit of information when they pay a bit of money, or this is a significant point, they can pay with their time. So if they pay with their time, they might go and join you on a one-to-one, you know, 30-minute consultation via Zoom, or they might come to an event. That's a taster. They're paying with their time. So once they book in that 30 minutes, then that's them doing taster. And then in that taster, you then sell them your core product. But the point is that you've just then made this ravine so deep that they have to then start to plaster it over with your product, so that your product kind of smooths it over and it kind of fills that wedge in like that. And that's how your product goes in. So how do you go and pitch a product like that? So once I've actually thought about that ravine and you're in the sales meeting, you then start the sales meeting. Do you want, you know, what does a perfect, sorry, go on.
Sorry, you froze for a second there. I thought you were going to be disappearing.
Okay, I'll restart. So you say, well, what does a perfect? So they've just downloaded the 98 things you need to plan for your motorsport event, and then you have that free consultation with them to go and help them plan it, and then you say, right, talk to me about what a perfect motorsport event would look like for you. Okay, and then you're quiet. You let them talk about it. They give you these little anecdotes that you can kind of use in the pitch. And then you say, well, look, tell me where you are now. So this is now. And so you go, well, we haven't got anything planned. We haven't got the venue secured. We haven't got the budget. We're worried about this. And you go, right, okay. Well, what we offer at, you know, Motorsport Events Limited is we offer this 5-step kind of done for you system that will take you from planning through to implementation. We can even manage it on the day. And so we do step 1, we'll do the planning. Step 2, we start to talk to suppliers. Step 3, we make sure if you're happy with it. Step 4, we help with the marketing. Step 5, we then do the event. And even bonus step 6, we'll then go and do some reviews and give you some reports afterwards on what the success of the events was. And that then guarantees you kind of get to motorsport heaven. And it only costs, 10K, but wouldn't it be great if you're in this new world, and isn't how life really awful and painful now? So that's why the wedge makes that current world even more painful. So you bring the current world so much further away from this magical world, and the only way that they can link those two things up is by your 10K product.
Yes, that's exactly it. Again, it's focusing on the pain that customer feels right now. It's no point offering them something that they're going to be like, well, yeah, meh. It's got to be really kind of pain led, so that they go, oh, I lean in and I'm interested in that.
Well, you've got to make it more painful for them.
Yeah, you've got to highlight how much that pain is costing them as well.
Yeah, they're at the moment, you've got to make them realise that they're in they're in the dog's doo-doos, and if they don't come and start to take action and use a professional like you to help organise their event, they're never going to get to this motorsport heaven, this kind of new world of brilliantness that you can help them get to. But, and this is the key point on this, Stu, the reason why you get them to think about the new world, so ask them, what does a perfect event look like? It triggers that part of the frontal cortex that makes them go, wow, I can see this great stuff, and they get to visionary mode and they start to see amazingness, and then you make their world painful. And so that then goes, oh, but I thought life was great because I'm visioning what it could be. And then you've made me realize what actually it is now. And so that's why I need professionals like you to help me. That's why it's a 10 grand problem, not a 5 grand problem. I'm willing to spend double to get to that new world.
Okay, we've got a few questions, but we're running out of time. We've got one last question that I'm going to pose, and this is from Russell Parrott. He runs a company called Kubo Kitchens. They do mainly kitchens. And he's asked, how would your system work with one-off, higher price, once-in-a-lifetime type purchases like a new kitchen?
Sorry, Stu. I have to admit, I was reading Navis. Sorry, apologies, Navis. If we got you wrong there. Sorry. So sorry, Stu. Please say again.
Russell Parrott from Kubo Kitchens, he puts in really rather nice kitchens. He's asked, how would this system work with one-off, higher price, once-in-a-lifetime type purchases like a new kitchen?
Yeah, I mean, the once-in-a-lifetime is kind of not really the important bit, because remember, when you think about a kitchen, right? So that taster product will be someone doing the kitchen design, right? So they haven't quite yet brought yet, or you might actually charge the kitchen design. I don't know. Some companies do, some companies don't. But I'm spending the time to get you to scan my kitchen, to actually put the design together for what it might look like. That is very much the taster products. That's me paying with my time, you paying with time, works really well. The info swap before that has got to be, 2021's kitchens of the futures, and an actual nice sort of lookbook of what is really up there and current. Because the problem is that people try and aggregate all this stuff together from Pinterest and stuff, and they're not quite sure. Having a document that says this is the kind of kitchen of the future, that's what we want to do. And then once they download that, then you try and book them in for an actual design of the kitchen, a design session in there. So that's really kind of important to do something along those lines. And so then once you go into the design session, you then upsell them, and bronze, silver and gold is just exactly how you would sell a kitchen. Say, look, here's the bronze package, a kind of basic cupboards and doors and stuff. Silver is kind of with a few gizmos and white goods and stuff. And if you want the gold package, it's got all these clever kind of extractor fans that come out the desktop and all that sort of stuff. It's kind of, and you kind of then say, and also, then you think, well, what other products would they want to then think about later? Well, could you not have a relationship with them and then maybe offer in a bathroom design and work with the contractor to help to do the bathrooms after that, etc. Because once you get into a client, you built their trust, then can you go back and actually talk to them about another product that complements what you're doing at a later date?
Well, I'm sure that we could keep asking you questions, but I know you're a busy man and you've got to go and deliver all of your clients' work. So thank you so much. Can we get a lot of ones if you've got? Give us a 1 if you've got a lot out of this session. Give us a 1. That's brilliant. Look, it's all ones. It's all ones. Yeah. Give us a 2 if you'd like Richard to come back at some point in the future. Give us a 2. Yes. Yes, yeah. That's the true mark of it. Whether you'd spend more time.
I'm putting my own 2 in there.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your extensive knowledge and experience today, Richard. Really appreciated you coming along and taking time out of your schedule to talk to the Biz Hub. Thank you for all of our members for tuning in, sticking around, and I'm sorry we couldn't answer all those questions, but there were dozens and dozens of them. So thank you so much for your time today. And don't forget, it's Beer Friday at 3 o'clock. We jump on and start sharing our photographs of us winding down at the end of hopefully a busy week. And we'll see you next week. Don't forget to keep the blog bookmarked and check in on that regularly because there's new content going. Anything else from you finally, Gareth, before we leave?
No, just make sure to sign in for the live.
That's it. Sign in for the live. We'll see you very soon. Thank you so much. And all the very best. Goodbye, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.